Guys, Pixar just did something they have never done before, something I think everyone has kind of wanted them to do, and that is enter the world of TV. That's right, Pixar just put out their first TV series ever, win or lose, but I don't know how I feel about this one. Let me explain. What's up guys, Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more pop culture content in your feed. Let's get into today's video. Okay, so if you've been following my channel for a while, you will know I am a huge Pixar fan. I feel like people my age, like people born in the mid-90s, are like the peak of Pixar fans because like we got the first Pixar movie, you know, like when we were born, Pixar was also kind of born, or at least born into becoming what it would become. And we seriously got the golden age of some of the best kids animated movies ever made with Toy Story, Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo. I mean, like what a run that is.
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Of course, then we had movies like The Incredibles. We also had Ratatouille, followed by Up, and then we got into the 2010s, which is a bit of a different story, but I digress. It's crazy to think that Pixar has been going for so long now. Like there have actually been so many Pixar movies, so many of them have become thriving franchises, theme park rides, sequels, spin-offs, like all of the above. I mean, when I say spin-offs, like we can't forget that Planes movie that Disney made based on Cars that wasn't actually made by Pixar. Keep that in mind, I guess.
That sucks.
But honestly, I think this studio made so many of my favorite childhood films, but also continued to make massive, amazing movies like Coco, Luca, and more recently Inside Out 2, which was probably my favorite movie of 2024.
Inside Out.
I actually remember back in the day, you would go and see Pixar movies in the cinema and they would always be preceded by like a short Pixar film. Like I can't even think about A Bug's Life without thinking of this guy playing chess with himself in a short film that actually kind of scared me as a kid. I don't really know why. The only other movies I knew that did this were like the Pokemon movies, which I remember seeing in cinemas, and they would have like a short Pikachu movie beforehand, like Pikachu's Vacation, where they introduced a bunch of new Pokemon. And now I'm just nerding out about the 90s, to be honest. The thing is, Pixar has done so much, but they haven't really ever done like a TV series, which is where Win or Lose comes in. And I was kind of confused about this because I know there was a Monsters Inc. TV show on Disney+. I think it was called Monsters at Work. I don't think Pixar was involved in that though. There was also recently an Inside Out kind of series thing that was like about dreams that I haven't seen, but I've heard decent things about. So I guess they're calling this like their first ever proper TV show. The problem is, and the problem I realized while I watched the first 2 episodes is, it's not really that at all.
Not really.
Don't get me wrong, the first 2 episodes were good, and this definitely has all the hallmarks of what makes Pixar great, down to the like clay-like animated people. But it's not really a TV series the way I thought it was. The show sort of centers around this kid's baseball team, and I guess from what I can gather, it's kind of more like an anthology than anything else. Actually, to be honest, I don't really know what an anthology is. I just said that to sound smart. I am so smart. I guess what I mean is there's not like a single narrative that seems to be running through here. Like I think every episode focuses on a different character's story within this baseball team. For example, the first episode focuses on this young girl whose dad is the coach of the team and she sucks at baseball. Actually, it's softball, as the character says in the show.
Baseball's your dad's thing.
Sure, it's softball.
Sorry about that. To be honest, I really related to this episode. I was one of those kids at school who, honestly, no cliche, always picked last in sport, always like really bad at sport, and always like embarrassed to play sport because I knew everyone knew how much I sucked. Which is essentially the premise of this episode of the show, with also her dad is the coach, which adds another layer of embarrassment. And in this show, like her anxiety or her self-doubt is represented by this like blob kind of character. I thought this was interesting because Pixar definitely likes to do the whole thing of like representing inner mental health issues and disorders as being. I mean, Inside Out literally did that. So in that sense, I wasn't really sure if they were covering any new ground with like doing that kind of thing. And so far, it certainly seems a little bit more grounded in narrative, at least, than what Pixar is usually about, which often involves like surrealism, magic, and like anthropomorphic animal characters. This feels very much like based on the real world and real world logic, aside from the fact that like the animation showcases like this blob-like character for the girl, or in the second episode, the main character kind of turns into a suit of armor when he's shy or nervous. I gotta say, I was kind of disappointed in this because I really did think that we were gonna get like a proper TV series, like a proper episodic serial kind of thing, but it doesn't really feel like that. It just feels like short stories that are somewhat connected. Not that I necessarily have a problem with that, but like from what I've seen so far, I don't think I would watch the rest of the series. And then at the same time, I kind of question myself because I'm like, was I expecting like a Game of Thrones style, like serial high fantasy kind of thing, which is just impossible for something for that audience? I think thematically, there's probably a lot to explore here. I really liked the first episode in particular, exploring anxiety, this fear of failure, and the great expectations we feel from our parents sometimes, especially stuff that's clearly like important to our parents, but we don't actually care about very much. There were so many times when I was a child where I just felt like I had to perform in certain things because it was what my parents wanted, not really what I wanted. And to be honest, having something like this to demonstrate how to handle that for kids watching is probably a good thing that I wish I had at the time. Overall, like, I wasn't particularly impressed or disappointed by this. Like, I don't think I will continue to watch it, but at the same time, like, if it helps kids to understand like certain things they're going through in their life, then I think that's great. And that's actually exactly why I thought Inside Out 2 was so fantastic. Like the way that movie illustrated anxiety so aptly with such a fantastic kind of demonstration of what it feels like in your body to kind of like have a panic attack or have severe anxiety. I think that's exactly what Pixar should be doing. Whew, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hey, if you like this video, I've got a bunch of Disney and Pixar videos on my channel, and I'd love for you to subscribe for more videos like this and other pop culture content as well. While I've got you, I would love for you to comment, what did you think of Win or Lose? Did you think it was good? Will you keep watching? And what would you like to see Pixar do in the TV space? And if you could have any Pixar movie have a TV show spin-off, what would that be and why? I think for me, mine would be The Incredibles. I do have an idea for it, which maybe I'll talk about in another video, but yeah, comment below. If you have nothing to comment, but you want to help me out in the algorithm, just comment below, win or lose. That way I know you're here and I know that you made it to the end. I'm all over the internet doing dumb stuff that I think is cool. I have a blog, I have a podcast, and all my links are down below. And while you're on my channel, YouTube thinks you might like this video next, but if you just want to watch more Disney videos, there's a whole playlist of them there. That's pretty much it from me. My name's Radio Mike. This has been The Inside of My Mind, and I will catch you later.